Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika, and here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft-related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And today, we're talking blueberry, lemon, yogurt, loaf cake, or just cake. So, a little bit of kitchen magic. I just took this out the oven. It's cooling, but it looks so pretty, doesn't it? And basically what I will do, if you stick around, is explain to you how I got this, and then how the magic is going to work once this is actually consumed. Honestly, even the smell, the way it smells so good right now. You can smell the blueberry, you can smell the lemon. This will permeate through the house and also lend energy. So stay tuned and I'll give you all the details. Okay, so let's get into this. All right, so I have everything laid out for my blueberry lemon yogurt cake. First things first, you're gonna have to spur your pan. That's a piece of parchment paper I went ahead and cut out to make life a lot easier. But as I get everything ready to go, let me just explain to you that this is a little bit of kitchen magic. This is what it looks like. I know a lot of people are confused about kitchen magic. It looks like this, you know, you're cooking, you're putting ingredients together. So that's my flour that I have right here, by the way, just so you know. Already separated that out, and the full recipe would be in the description, but that's baking powder. That's 2 teaspoons of baking powder that I have ready to go. And by the way, that was a cup and a half of all-purpose flour. I have my salt, which will come out to about 1/4 of a teaspoon that I'll need all together. I'm looking at my list here, so I'll make sure I can tell you guys the right thing. That is my granulated sugar. That's 1 cup. And that is 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt. I have 4 eggs already ready to go there as well. And that's my lemon zest. Oh, this smells so good. Let me move my pretty candle out the way. So I have lemon zest that's also ready to go. And then a cup of oil. Excuse me, 1/2 cup of oil that I have. That's just plain vegetable oil. And of course, about 6 ounces of fresh blueberries ready to go. I already cleaned those off, so they were ready to go. All right, so first things first, it's time to start assembling. So enjoy this, and I'll just explain to you a little bit more about why this is, where the magic comes into play. So first thing first, let's talk about flour and baking powder, because that's what I just added. So flour, believe it or not, is all about consistency. In the cooking, for the purposes of cooking, and also magically speaking, it's about consistency. You want to make sure your flour, the flour, what it does magically speaking is it represents bringing in whatever it is that you're doing magically. It's keeping things consistent. So I'm just getting my salt ready to go there. There had a little bit of flour in it, so I had to dump that out. Let me try that again. Salt, of course, is great for cleansing, grounding, protection, all of that. And I always like to add a level of protection into my work. And by the way, baking powder raises energy, also raises expectation, but in this case, it raises energy. It's the built-in component, the magical alchemy component that's going to raise the energy, hence cake, baking powder, and so forth. So we're going to set that to the side. That's the dry ingredient. So now it's time for all the wet stuff, all the wet ingredients. Let's start with the sugar. Sugar, magically speaking, all about love. Yes, it is. And then that's the Greek yogurt, pops right out. See that? It just pop right out. The Greek yogurt. Now, Greek yogurt, or yogurt in general, it represents, for me anyway, I see it as a culmination of health and healing, and also female energy, which is what I'd like to lend. Eggs are, you know, as we just came from Ostera, it's fertility, lust, strength, and then lemons. Oh, lemon is ruled by the moon and water. It's great for purifying, cleansing negative energy. Also for love and happiness, which is what my intentions are. And then there's the vanilla extract. I love me vanilla extract. I love that a lot, actually. Okay, so I went ahead and added the vanilla extract, as you just saw. Now it's time to whisk it together. Usually I got, you know, one of my gadgets out, but the recipe that I was inspired by called for, you know, using a whisk. So I went ahead and did that. So using a little energy there, which don't forget the mixing, that process, that's stirring it all together. That's alchemy. That's a great time. So whatever you're thinking, you're passing it in. I was just thinking how bright the color was and how wonderful that lemon zest smelled. So that's what I was thinking, and how beautiful it all is once it's mixed together. It's actually quite beautiful, creamy consistency. And it just kind of made me feel light, airy, and happy, which is the energy that you want to put in. So I'm physically, raising energy by mixing, as you can see. Don't underestimate these simple processes in cooking as far as Kitchen Magic, because this is what it's about. So it's time to add in the flour and baking powder salt mixture. So that's what I'm doing here. So, you just take your time with it and you just mix it in. Again, I just want to reiterate about the flour. It's all about, and magically speaking, consistency. It's super helpful when you're doing your spells, especially baking spells, when you're thinking about what that flour represents. Well, in my case, I want the happiness, the peace and protection. I want it to last. I want it to be consistent. So basically, all those that consume this, they should expect that energy. Now, with anything, if someone has counteractive energy, if they're in a dark place, mentally, emotionally, none of this, it may make a dent, but the person has to be receptive to it. I would say try to let people know when you're, magically infusing your food. Let them know what's going on, what your intentions are. Just make sure they know. Otherwise, sometimes we don't want to tell people because it kind of freaks them out. And that's okay. Just make sure you have the right audience for this. Depending on what you're making, that is, just be mindful about that. Kitchen Magic can backfire. We'll just say that, and I'll leave it there. I don't want to speak negativity over my blueberry lemon yogurt cake. So we're going to just keep this thing going. So anyway, I'm mixing this up really good. Again, just getting that energy raised. That's what this thing is really all about. All right, so now that I feel pretty good about how well that's mixed, it's time to fold in the blueberries. So if you don't have a fancy folding, type of spoon or utensil, a flat spatula will do just fine. Notice I'm just gently folding them in, and it's not breaking up the blueberries very much. Actually, not really at all. So that'll look pretty once it's done. So yeah, again, it's just alchemy at this point. I was speaking, I'm doing a voiceover now, but I was speaking my intentions at this stage because, I'm just about done. Now, what you didn't see was I actually added the oil. I didn't capture that. I realized afterwards I didn't do it, but it's almost time to go into all right, the pan. So oil made it in there, believe it or not. I kind of had to do it. You can see it's sitting right there over to the right. I went in and I had to do it while it was in the pan already, but the directions said to fold it in, so I just used a spatula and folded it in. So it worked out in the end, so don't worry about that. But look at that wonderful consistency. It's going to be really pretty once it's done. Lemony and blueberry and kind of light and airy. That's just a simple loaf pan that I have there, by the way, if you were wondering. I think I got that from like Walmart some years ago. It's nothing fancy. Anyway, yeah, so that's it. So now it just goes into the oven. Just making sure that is just right. Look at that. Pop that in the oven for an hour.